I was speaking to another YouTuber, uh, and it's interesting because over the past 10 years or so, YouTubers not only we watch one another, and I've been more so a consumer of YouTube content than a content creator. And one of the things that we've noticed over the years is that we're minor content creators, we're majority consumers, and you have uh, large content, large content creators. I mean, I'm talking about 500,000, 300,000, a million subscribers. And they watch uh, the people that are in the space that they're in. It's a natural thing to do. I know that people like SP1 Southern Prepper One watches my channel. I even know even up to Canadian Prepper has watched my content. I know because they've made comments on my videos in the past, and those are just a few. I'd say Tiberius Rex, excellent channel. I learned a lot from him in terms of shooting. And one of the things that we were talking about, one of this me and this other YouTuber, you know what I'm saying, minor YouTube, he got like 25,000 subscribers. But what we were talking about was prepper fatigue, and the notion that we're watching all these channels, and I'll use Canadian Prepper as an excellent example. This guy is big. I mean, and I've watched his channel. His content is very, very well produced. He has an intro, outro, background music. I mean, he does a lot. He puts a lot of energy uh, into his platform, and it shows by the results. He's very successful. Um, and then you have people like Southern Pepper One, who doesn't have like intros and outros, or really, he just gets on and he just gives the information like it is. And what I'm noticing about the difference between certain YouTube channels is the shock jock factor. I mean, it's always, the world is coming to an end tomorrow. And after a while, people get fatigued because, especially, and again, I'll use Canadian Prepper. He has like over 1 million subscribers. But I mean, I've looked back at his content and I don't pretty much watch his content anymore. Because it's all pretty much the same. After a while, you watch these guys, you know what I'm saying? It's just the same kind of content. But what I notice is that these people, they'll get up and they'll make a prediction about something that they say is going to happen, and they spoke to this guy and they spoke to that guy in the military, or they spoke to this secret guy, whatever, and then they get a whole lot of views, and then the event goes by and then nothing happens, and then they're on to the next one and on to the next one. Now, if you don't believe me or I'm wrong, go back a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years into their content, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. World War III is about to break out. This is about to break out. We're about to get the war with this. We're about to get the war with that. And what I've come to learn in years of watching YouTubers and content creators surrounding prepping, survivalists, um, is that you got to take a lot of things with a grain of salt. No one knows when this is going to happen and that is going to happen. And it's more so for shock jock factor in views and clicks. It's not necessarily for really educating you in terms of the nuts and bolts per se, in terms of how you need to be moving where you are. Uh, and I've come across, and I've been for the lack of a better term, victim to this mentality, is to where somebody will get up on YouTube and they'll say, the sky is falling tomorrow, and I'll use another perfect example because I think it's important to give actual examples. Um, of a great YouTuber that I love to watch. He doesn't make YouTube channels or YouTube videos anymore, but Chris Dwayne, Truth Never Told. I never forget a video that he made, and it was called Silver the Final Warning. And I think you can look it up. As a matter of fact, can I look it up now? It is because he got his channel taken down. But let me see if that video is still up. Let me see. There it goes. Yeah, it's right there. Planet Prisoner, and what I'll do is I'm gonna link this video inside of the description so you can see how he spoke. And this was based on somebody else did the narration based on an article that Chris Dwayne wrote. Do you understand? Very important for you to get this, and I'm going to link the video. Based on that video, I went out and bought like $5,000 worth of silver. Based on that video. Was he right? Of course he was. We look at the results. Because see, at the end of the day, I'm not concerned about what somebody says. I'm obsessed with results. What are the results? Because see, if you can show me the results, then I can know who is operating in the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. I can know who is the deceiver and who is the deceived. I can always know that stuff based on the results. And people today, what they don't want you to do is they don't want you to look at the results. So, I use these examples of these guys that make these YouTube channels and that make this content, that they're not always right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they're wrong. If you just look at the information, if you just look at the results. And hey, people make money, it's all good. I respect that. But you got to be able to think for yourself at the end of the day. Because, everybody, they may have an underlying motive that got nothing to do with your benefit. A lot of people, they're just out for filthy lucre. They out for gain. And so what you have to do is you have to start where you are, be measured, don't panic, do what you need to do, prep as best as you can, but think for yourself. Because if you don't, hey, because at the end of the day, guess who's responsible at the end of the day? You are. I am. It's all about personal accountability. You can use these kinds of guys like Chris Dwayne, Truth Never Told, or Canadian Prepper to get information and to understand what's going on, but don't feed into the shock jock. Don't feed into the hype, because you'll make mistakes. You don't want to do things based off the emotional. You understand what I'm saying? That emotional feeling that they're trying to put on you. They're trying to incite a feeling out of you. To get you to subscribe, to get you to buy, to get you to donate, to get you to do whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? In Canadian Prepper, he has a very big, he sells a lot of products. So, of course, he wants to move product at the end of the day. He's just not getting up to do videos and not move product. Another perfect is that he'll do videos, but truth unedited. You know what I'm saying? He'll just do videos and he doesn't have any agenda outside of just giving you information. But these are the kind of examples that you need to be cognizant of. A lot of people are getting a lot of prepper fatigue because they watch these people make predictions and they haven't come to the past. And then they go on and make poor predictions and then it doesn't come to pass. If we were, in the days of Israel, if we live in our old days and you did something like that, they'd be stoned. But hey, in this day and age, people can do what they want to do. Lie, cheat, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but think for yourself. All right, shalom.